it being family focus and nurturing emotional well-being in the family. I just want to leave a few words with you on this topic before the day is finished, so you can have something to focus on for the rest of this week. But before I make this presentation, I'm just going to ask, for those people who are married, do you know that there's something your spouse knows about you that you don't know? Something your spouse knows about you that you don't know. Do you know that? And that is what? It's very hard to be married to you. No, it's really true. It's very hard to be married to you. Let me explain this. There's a theory. In this. Those of you who are firstborn, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's your parents' fault. And let me explain. Those of you who are firstborn, put your hands up. Okay, those are the people who are really troubled. And I tell you why. Listen, your parents, when your parents had you, they had no clue what to do. You were like an experiment. They took you home and they brought you home and they tried everything, and then they had more children, and then you became an example. So they would use you as an example. So you really brought that with you in the marriage. But don't worry, my wife, I think, is the firstborn. She might tell me something, but she's the firstborn. I'm the baby. Who is the baby? The lastborn. You are even more messed up than the firstborn. And you know why? I tell you why. When you are the baby, your parents have been through so much, they forgot about what to do with you. You get to do anything you want, and you come into the marriage just like that. Don't worry, those of you who are in the middle. Some people are trying to think, nobody ever really asks about me, these are the firstborn, and you are even more messed up than the first and the last. Because then your parents had you, and then had you in the middle, and sometimes they don't even remember that they had you. So you really had that, and they don't know. If you go to your parents' home, you probably don't even have a picture of you in the house, because one of the firstborn and the last might be there. That's a theory anyway. If you agree with that, it's up to you. But because we are like that, we come into our marriages, whether we are firstborn, middleborn, and don't forget, if you are the only one, I won't even say anything, because you would have raised your hand 3 times. First, last, and in the middle. But we come into the marriage with all of those things. And it is for us, our partners, to have to deal with that. Whether we are firstborn and we want all the attention, or the lastborn want all the attention, or in the middle, we come with that. So it's not your fault, it's just your parents' fault. So I just want to, if I see this presentation on screen, just to talk about what we really want for our children. So we really want for our children to grow up, and we have gone through that already. Right, what parents want for their children is for them to grow up and have grow up physically, mentally, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, socially, grow up in that well-rounded child. We want to have them finding jobs that they are fulfilled in, and purposeful work. We want them to contribute to home and to school and to society and to church. We want our children to care for the holistic well-being of all the people that they come in contact with. But then there are challenges that happen, that children encounter, that we encounter. These are unforeseen challenges. Some of them, disabilities that we are born with, developmental delays in our children, or even accidents, and we have no control over those things. But then there are others that we talk about, we call them ACE, adverse childhood experiences. whether it's emotional distress in the family, dysfunctional family, attitudes that they see around them, abuse and neglect. And some others might include victim of violence and neglect in their home where they're supposed to be loved. There might be parental separation and divorce, and we know that is going up in the churches. There might be other things included witnessing violence in the community. Families, we talked about that last night on the SEC platform about suicide and committing suicide and having suicidal thoughts in the families. We talk about substance abuse in the families. We have mental health. That is one of those things. I mean, my dad struggled and died from losing his mind, basically. But those things happen in the family. Household members having been in prison or in jail. War and political conflict that cause refugees. Those are things that children will grow up experiencing. Now, they say 33% of children by the age of 18 would have experienced at least one of these. And by 14% of children would have at least experienced at least two of these ACEs. But since COVID, every child would have experienced one of these, whether it's death in the family or some physical abuse because of lockdown or parental divorces or family violence. All of that is experienced by every child. And remember, as I talk about being born, we go into our marriages with these things. So, whether it is positive or a negative experience, these will, with some of the things we need to do to help with those. We need to have homes that are nurturing environment for our children. We need to shield our children from these adverse experiences as much as we can. We know it's very difficult, but we need to try and do that. We need to understand what are causing these things, the factors around us that we can attend to, so we can help to protect our children and our home. And we need to have stable home and environment that they can be nurtured into. And Ellen G. White puts it in this way. In Adventist Home, she says, to a large extent, parents create the atmosphere of the home circle. And when there is disagreement between father and mother, the children partake of the same spirit. Make your home atmosphere fragrant with tender thoughtfulness. If you have become estranged and have failed to be the Bible Christian, be converted. For the character you bear in probationary time will be the character you will have at the coming of Christ. If you would be a saint in heaven, you must first be a saint on earth. The traits of character you cherish in your life will not be changed by death or by the resurrection. You will come up from the grave the same way you went. And most of all, what I can suggest to you as I end is that 1 Corinthians 16 verse 14 says, everything we do, we should do it in love. So if we do everything in love in our home, in our families, in our marriages, our children will be seeing an example that they can live up to. And I just want to leave you with 5 ways to maintain that well-being of yourself. So I just ask you to watch this presentation, and then you will see.
Challenging, empty, or stressful. We have so much going on in our heads, it's easy to feel disconnected. 5 ways to well-being are simple things we can all do to help us enjoy life and be kinder to ourselves. Just taking a little time out for yourself and taking notice of the simple things can make a huge difference, helping you feel more relaxed. Connecting with others can be daunting at first, but it's worth it when you meet a friend. Learning something new can help build your confidence and get you involved in something you've always wanted to try. Even small acts of generosity can activate the reward centre of the brain, which reduces our stress levels and even helps us live longer. Simply moving your body around has so many benefits. When you're active, your body releases chemicals in your brain which make you happy. They also help you concentrate, feel and look better, and sleep better, which is pretty great.